This is the Supreme Leader Rock. You're blocking the sign there. Who's the Supreme Leader?
You are.
You are the Supreme Leader.
Oh,
Get up there.
I'm the
Get up there. Get up there.
Yeah, get up there.
I'm not worthy. All right, don't know what Marley's doing.
Out of there. Out of there. Out of there. Ow!
Welcome to the season 2 of sorry.
Take 2. Cut. All right. Take 2. Here we go.
Lights,
This time with
camera,
feeling.
action!
Welcome to the season 2 of Minetopia. Everybody's here. Not everybody. We've got a few folks who aren't here. But I thought I'd say a few words. I think I was nominated for this. So I was there on day 1 of Minetopia season 1, and you know, as a young YouTuber, Minecrafter, those were the days, man. Those were the beginning of this crazy adventure that we're on, and I just know that season 2 is going to be even better. We've got some new folks with us. That guy. One of our new folks.
Hey.
that guy, and then that guy over there.
Yeah, and then some old friends, like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that guy.
Some very, very old friends.
Some friends
Hey.
with new names.
Hey now. Where you at? Right here.
But I just wanted to
Gosh.
say thank you guys for being here. It's gonna be crazy. Let's try to have fun. And yeah, go us.
Yeah!
Uh,
Winning.
And now I throw the celebratory heads that I didn't know. I didn't kill anyone for this.
So, with all that said and done, welcome to Minetopia. It is the season 2 of Minetopia, and in case you guys don't know, this is an SMP for content creators online. So there's a bunch of YouTubers and streamers on Twitch and all that jazz here, and plus we got a few new people this season, which is really fun. If you're interested in checking out all who's part of this SMP, make sure to check the description. There's also a Discord if you guys are interested in it. But yeah, welcome to season 2. But yeah, we decided to go with a whole new seed this season so that way we can snoop around in new places and to get through some of the menial things that happened toward the beginning of a Minecraft seed that just began. I decided to do this thing where I filmed the first 50 days of me on the Minetopia server, so that way we can just go through quickly, or somewhat quickly, all the different things that I do within the first 50 days. So let's put up a counter for day 1 so that way we can keep track of which day we're on. I'm probably not going to hit every single day because some of them are kind of boring, like planting stuff, getting resources. Yeah, not all of them are very interesting, but for today, for day 1, I ended up getting a bunch of cobblestone, some wood, some coal, and I basically hung around in the spawn area a little bit so that way I can get used to it and see what's available. Luckily, we can keep it pretty short and sweet for day 2. I do happen to know a vague location of where I'd like to build, and I do actually have a really cool idea of the build that I want to do, and so this is just me trying to make it all the way to the location that I want to build. So after a little bit of exploring, I ended up finding this little like abandoned nether portal. I don't know what the actual term for it is, but I ended up finding a couple things there, and I also got those like little magma block things. And then down the road a little bit, I ended up finding a sunken ship, which is really good. I was hoping to find moss blocks, but sadly didn't see any. But I did happen to get a couple other things that should help me in the long run. I also found a treasure map, which is really fun, and I plan on doing that like later down in the episode. And then toward the end of the day, I ended up finding the location that I want to build my base, which is really fun. So usually I would start out building like a starter base and then go to the normal base, but I wanted to find the location for the mega base area first, so that way I can start getting like cows and sheep and stuff like that. And luckily another Minetopia player, his name is Bigfoot, he actually helped me find this location, and he's going to be my neighbor. So I just wanted to go ahead, find the location, and get started a little bit. So yeah, I ended up getting a bunch of cows and sheep, which was really good. I did not want them to like escape on me or like disappear or despawn or anything. I don't know if they can actually despawn, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that I had them to breed later, since cows and sheep tend to come in handy a lot, which is really good. And then I actually also ended up sightseeing a little bit in the immediate area, so that way I can get a good feel of the area that I'm going to be building in. I did happen to know the vague location of where I wanted to build, like the coordinates wise, because we did happen to look at it a little bit, but yeah, I ended up actually finding a lot of like copper and coal on the surface level of everything, which is really good. I am going to need those in the future. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to do anything with copper yet. I need to decide. If you guys have any cool copper ideas, make sure to tell me. But yeah, I ended up finding those things, which was really good. I also ended up finding this really weird boat that spawned in like the side of a mountain. I think it's like a shipwrecked boat or something. I don't know. It was really odd. I didn't know boats can be like oriented that way in the side of a mountain above water. I don't know. It would be kind of cool to use that in like the lure kind of aspect of the location, like, oh, maybe this place was underwater at one point, I don't know. But yeah, it was really cool. I ended up finding a diamond, which is really good. Diamonds are hard to come by, especially when I refused to go mining for long periods of time. So I ended up finding a single diamond, which I still have. I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Maybe a shovel? I don't know, but I've just been keeping it, because why not? And then I actually also ended up breeding the animals a little bit, kind of organizing my stuff and creating a farm, so that way I can have those stuff started. As we watch me do all these boring things in Minecraft, now is a good time for me to talk about what I want to do with my base. So I actually have a test world that I built everything ahead of time, or at least the majority of everything ahead of time. There's still a lot of small things that I would just like to do in-game instead of trying to figure them out ahead of time. But I do want to do something really cool with the cliffs. The cliffs in the caves are two things that Minecraft added recently, or at least they're working on adding them into the game. And so I wanted to do something with the cliff aspect. And so I am a big fan of video games and whatnot, and I wanted to do something kind of retro, kind of mid-century modern themed, because I thought that would be really fun, and I'm a fan of Hermitcraft, and I saw that Scar did like a diner before, like a 60s diner, and it looked really cool. So I wanted to do something kind of that era. And one game that's very popular for that time, or at least it was like set in that time, it's Fallout 4. And basically all of the Fallout games, but specifically Fallout 4, I wanted to make a vault. Now, I thought that would be really cool. So I'm probably gonna show you guys a little bit more in detail of what I am planning to do in the future. But yeah, I am basing my whole thing off of a vault. So we ended up finding a lot of resources, mainly cobblestone and some iron and coal, which is really good. Those will definitely come in handy, but I will definitely have to do some mining in the future to get a lot more. And I ended up just kind of bridging over to the cliff face that I wanted to build the vault on. Now, the vault, I do plan on building in terracotta and concrete. which is I'm gonna need a lot of it. So I decided to kind of block it all out using dirt. So I basically have a creative world where I built all of this ahead of time, and I took a bunch of photos and videos of it so that way whenever I'm building on the server, the Minetopia server, I can easily basically recreate it. It's not going to be block for block what I created previously. I'm going to try to upgrade it a little bit as I'm building it. But yeah, I just decided to do it in dirt first, and then I'm going to replace all the dirt with the clay and like the terracotta and the concrete and stuff that I plan on building with. So yeah, this is basically me trying to plan ahead a little bit. Hopefully it works out. Now, day 9, I ended up just kind of using dirt to try to find the best location of where to put it, like the vault face, and it took a little bit of finessing, but I think I finally found a good spot for it. With day 12, I decided to just explore around a little bit. I ended up finding this really cool, I don't know what you would call it, like a spruce forest kind of thing. I ended up digging up a bunch of that mossy cobble because I wasn't sure if there would be anything underneath them or not, but they are cool looking, so I'm glad I have them. And then I ended up getting a bunch of clay because I, for the life of me, could not find a good biome with a lot of terracotta in it that's close to us. And since I don't have an elytra yet, or any type of like shulker boxes yet, I decided to just go around and get a bunch of clay. I end up doing this a lot. I know I'm gonna end up doing this a lot. So I just figured I'd stick with clay for a bit and make a bunch of terracotta so that way we can get a little head start on all the giant amount of terracotta that I'm going to need for the base. So day 14 was pretty boring. I just did some like menial things like keeping house and whatnot by organizing things, smelting some stuff, getting farm things, and then I also decided to leave Bigfoot a little present. He is going to be my neighbor, so we're fairly close to one another, and since I was able to get on the server before him, I just decided to leave him a couple things like some cows and some sheep and some other items. So yeah, I figured he'd probably enjoy that, so I just left that off to the side. Day 15, on the other hand, I decided to finally put together like an official looking bridge or somewhat of a bridge, so that way I can go across between the land a lot easier. Plus, the dirt one was kind of shady anyway, so this is not going to be the complete version of the bridge. I just decided to slap on the basic part, and then I'm going to decorate it later on. So for this day, I ended up looking for some more clay so that way I can start smelting some more terracotta, because my base is going to need a lot of that, like a lot of that. And so I found a little bit of clay, and then I also found this little micro island thing that I thought would be good for a strip mine, which is really cool. And so I got that started as well, and then I ended up writing down the coordinates so that way I can give them to Bigfoot as well. So since he like lives pretty close to me, I figured he'd probably like that as well. And I like to have a dedicated area to mine and cave and stuff like that. Plus it's a little distance away from my actual base, so that way hopefully mobs won't come after me at night or whatever. But yeah, this was hopefully a good spot to do that. So with that bulletin board that I did, I just wanted a good space to talk to Bigfoot, like in game, if he ever stopped by my base. And then I also wanted a good thing to write down all of the different coordinates that I may need, because I'm probably going to get lost, so it's good to have like a physical representation of where everything's located. And then while I was thinking about Bigfoot and talking to him, I wanted to go hunt down his base, so I ended up finding this little trail that leads to it, and while looking around I ran into Neely. Luckily Neely ended up showing me where the nether tunnels are, and it looks like somebody already set up a bunch of portals that go between the bases and spawn, which is pretty neat. That's definitely going to come in handy. And then Neely ended up showing me his base, and he's done a lot so far, which is amazing. I ended up going to his base before he started building a lot, but he chose a really cool area, so I was happy to look around. And then he actually ended up giving me a moss block, which I have not found yet, and I'm just really glad that he gave it to me. That's going to be fun to decorate with. And then on the way back to my base, I actually ran into It's Chaz, who is yet another member of the SMP, and I actually had to bother him a little bit because whenever I went to Neely's, I didn't put any gold armor on, and so on the way back, it was kind of dangerous, so I actually stole a pair of pants from him. Well, not really stole, he gave it to me, so I'm gonna have to repay him somehow. But I actually ended up following him to his base, and he was setting up the nether portal and didn't have a flint and steel, so I actually had to run back, get a flint and steel for him, come back to him, and then he ended up showing me what his base looked like, which is pretty cool. He ended up choosing this, like, wintry area, so that's gonna be a really cool place to build in. So fun story here, after digging around for a bunch of resources like clay and wood and stuff, I decided to do something different. So I decided to pull out that buried treasure map that I found a while back, and I spent some time trying to remember how to like use the maps and stuff like that because I'm horrible with directions, and then we finally found the location, and turns out that it's already been raided. I didn't know that there could be multiple buried treasure maps throughout the entire world that like goes to the same place, and so it turns out somebody made it to that location before I did, and then I actually found another map for the same place. So there was like a total of like 3 maps for this one location, which I thought was hilarious. But no, I mean, it was a little adventure. We did get that bit. I was just kind of sad that we couldn't find like actual buried treasure, but you know, I do plan on doing some exploring later on, so hopefully we can find another map. Fingers crossed. So I ended up hearing that there was another fortress that was connected to the tunnels in the nether that we have set up. So I ended up finding where that's located, and then there is a blaze farm, or it's more of a spawner. It's not like a farm yet, but there's a blaze spawner directly in front of the fortress, and I was thinking about getting some blaze and stuff. Nope, turns out they're kind of dangerous. I didn't trust myself with them, plus so far I had not died a single time which is amazing. So I ended up just getting a single blaze rod, and then I ditched because, you know, I value my safety. So one thing I ended up going back and forth on is if I want to actually put a nether portal in my area. I've just been stealing Bigfoot's. So yeah, I've been really glad that he put one there, but I have just been procrastinating putting one in my base. So in order to kind of combat that, I ended up making a pathway, or like a more dedicated pathway. I know Bigfoot actually put one in, so I just kind of wanted to expand on that a little bit. So I just continued spooning the dirt so that way we could have more of a pathway, and I put down some spruce stuff and some lights. I'd like to go back through and put a lot more lanterns so that way the snow won't melt. I think that'll be really cool. I also would like to put like an archway at the beginning of the pathway so that way people can see it easier, but I need to ask Bigfoot what his base is going to look like, or at least what part of the base is going to look like, so I can kind of adapt it to look like that and to look like my base some. Kind of like a little baby of the two bases, so that way it doesn't look too out of place. But yeah, I still need to do that portal. Eventually, I'll do it eventually. But yeah, this project is gonna take me a while. That's all I gotta say, because I spent a good majority of time going and getting clay so that way we can get terracotta, and then I've been working on the vault door, trying to plan it out using dirt, and then eventually I'm going to have to replace it with concrete so that way I can get it to the correct vibe that I want. And I actually did have to recreate this on my test world, and it's not exactly the same, but I still think it turned out pretty cool because I'm horrible at recreating things apparently. But I'm just really glad that I planned this out ahead of time, because if I didn't, this would have taken me even longer to put together. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the first episode, so thank you guys for watching. I figured this would probably be the best way to consolidate all the random junk that I have to do at the beginning of each new season that we do. So yeah, this was a lot of fun to put together. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you happen to like the video, make sure to give it a like. If you happen to like it even more, make sure to subscribe. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!